sure I have not bored you out, or I'm not giving some gyan which it is not interpretable to anyone.
Okay, so we have to give very accurate instructions to the AI so that we can get exactly what we want. That's what my
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you for giving that feedback. So yes, we'll move on to the topic with this understanding in place. Okay. So today we'll try to see what does this prompt engineering, basically how you are going to interact with AI and related products, like how your communication should be with, how detailed it should be in terms of how to get the accurate output from there. And it doesn't stop there. It goes to the next step of about how we can evaluate them and see whether we are not taking any biased information out of it and projecting it. Even though AI gives everything, we'll have to apply our intelligence on top of it in order to ensure it is not a biased or limiting information when we are sharing it with the outside world, or when we are trying to share it for our internal purposes. So with that agenda in place, to start, so those of you who have laptops with you, I want you to just give a try in terms of before entering into prompt engineering, like how it looks like. Okay, so if people can along with me do a warm up of going into Copilot and seeing how this particular statement can work about. Okay, I'll share my screen and do that. But in case if you have your own laptops, try to do that along with me. So go to copilot.com. I'll try to take the same thing. Like I'm requesting Copilot to give you a welcome message, like how it would be in terms of it. Boom, there we go. So it gives some kind of welcoming statement in terms of whatever it can interpret with the message, whatever I've given to it. So like the differences of prompts, whatever you have given, you could have seen the difference in output, how it has come across, right? So with that in place, like how would you grade Copilot from A to F, considering A being the best? Any options on the chat? And if I'm seeing the right chat window here. Yep. But with whatever output you got, how would you rate it from a scale of A to F? How do you feel? Like, is it really doing a great job, or it is okay kind of stuff, whatever has come back? I see only Dr. Ajita have mentioned something. Others, hope you are with us. Okay. Even before moving, am I audible again? I don't want silent spectators here.
Yes,
will have
sir.
to...
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I'll give another minute. I want everyone to do your warm up and be aligned with me before we move across to the next slide. I don't see any chart being updated. Or do you want any help on how to access Copilot again? Copilot.microsoft.com. Let me move on then. So generative AI is the base for the prompt engineering. So whatever prompts we are going to give is going to be fed into the generative AI models which are in place. So prompt acts like an input. So you can include a role, you can include how to act with it. You can open your creativity to any extent, but it should be based on a model where your prompts are being exactly interpreted, and then you get the required output. And the required output could be in terms of multi-model. Either it could be text or it could be images, videos, etc. Anything could be. It all depends upon the model. So basically, prompt is your input, model is the function in between, which tries to convert your prompt into the required outputs, and the final output is laid back into your screen. So to start off with these models are trained with huge amounts of data, with a lot of predictions which goes into it, and every prompt which we enter into these models or large language models, basically they call it as LLM because they try to interpret our languages and then brings out the intelligence whatever it carries within it. So in this case, like whatever we are trying to get as an output from it is also being fed into the model once again, and these prompts are also used as a catalyst to improvise their models once again. So the output which we are going to foresee or predict out of it can be clear cut, or it would be based on the directions whatever we are going to receive through the prompts. So with that, here, so we'll have to mention three things. Like normally, I'm taking Copilot as an example because this is the handy tool which is free for everyone, at least to start off to understand what is prompt engineering and all those aspects of it. And Copilot tries to enforce three attributes when you're writing your prompts. It lets you say whether I want you to be more creative or balanced or precise. This is basically based on whatever aspects you are trying to give to your prompt. If you're going for some artistic evaluations of output, you'll move towards your creative side, or no, I want to take a balanced approach. I don't want to be more formal and accurate. I want to hit a balance state, then you go with the middle balance state. Or if you want to have accurate information in terms of what is the source, who quoted it, and when all the data related to those prompts, if you want to gather them, you should toggle to the more precise options. So these three are something Copilot has already given as an indicator before you start with your prompt. But normally, if you're going to use any other AI technology, any other models which you have to work with or relate with, so these three are going to be your guiding factors based on the output. Say if you're going to work on your research papers, then we'll have to be more precise with the information which we're going to share with the outside world. So our prompt should be more precise in nature. So we should blend that in terms of how to get into a more precise mode. So the overall space here is like it is a rapidly evolving field. We cannot say okay, these are the set of prompts which the models will always interact with us and will get a normal output towards it. No, because every prompt which now human intelligence is trying to interact with the artificial intelligence is growing on a daily basis. Like it has n number of inputs in terms of prompts. So every prompt which is being fed in is a new brick to the wall, which adds up. And in order to scale up to that extent, we'll also have to improvise our prompts so that we are matching to the intelligence of the artificial intelligence which is present there. If our prompts are going to be the same nature without any much of improvements, then we are going to be left out from the pool, and it would be very hard to get the required information which we are looking for. So the overall aspect is we make use of our prompts or our language in a very efficient manner. How to make it more efficient is the goal which we are trying to achieve in this session. Like, okay, as you are stating, there could be many ways to achieve the efficiency, but what are the thumb rules which we'll have to hold every time when we are trying to interact with the artificial intelligence machine or in terms of any app or tool? So we'll have to be very specific how to be efficient with it. Just don't throw some random prompts, because most of the artificial intelligence LLMs are being given with a minimal approach. Like after you use your 5 prompts or 6 prompts, it will ask you to pay or get some more pricing included into it, so that you cannot reap the fruits of it. So you'll have to be more efficient. You'll have to be more clear, concise, so that you make use of the outside environment in order to move through how you are going to reap the information from the artificial intelligence factors. So LLMs are nothing but crores of brains are waiting for you, or waiting at your command to give you more information, whatever you're looking for. But you should be very specific of how you're going to ask the questions, because the more number of questions with inappropriate nature, LLMs are going to put us into the same garbage without any articles being fetched across. So, said that, the first thumb rule, whatever we saw, was we should be creative or balanced or precise. That is the very high level of thought process when we are trying to start with an interaction. Once that is decided, we have n number of or types of prompts to think about. Like, what is my use case related to? That is the second part which will have to be very clear. Am I trying to summarize any content from a research article, or am I trying to classify anything, or trying to extract information? So all these are key points which you'll have to always keep in mind as soon as you have concluded with what type of context you are going into. If I'm going to be creative, and in that creative, if I have to apply classification or information extraction, and there are multiple types to follow. But here, to state the examples towards it, you can give a particular topic and you can ask it to summarize within 3 sentences or within 2 paragraphs, or by playing a role towards it, how you want to classify it, you can take up that one. And in terms of defining some characters, you can give some groups of characters, say a group of pictures which are related to cat. You can ask the LLM model to learn from it, and then going forward, whenever you get some pictures related to this shape and size, you can classify them and give me what is that picture related to. Or you can give some comments, you can ask them to read and keep it in their memory, and when you pass on some external comments which have to go through, it can classify you with the required sets. So basically, as soon as we are good with what type of nature we are going to interact, we should also ensure to put into our mind what is our use case and how the prompt should be with respect to that use case. I've given some examples here in order to see what are the use cases you can see in your research or study articles, but we'll do some hands-on as well. And a few other prompts in terms of completing a text. So I give some generic thought process to it. If I'm not able to draw a conclusion out of a summarized statement, I can give that summary and then try to do a text completion to it. So you might see, like, probably you would have dealt through many of these AI products and all those stuffs. Whatever I'm trying to put here out is, you might have a number of tools, but you should know how to use which tool and when to use it. So basically from that construct, so you need not type some random statements and articles towards it. Be very specific and fine tune your intelligence to be matching to the intelligence whatever artificial world is looking for, so that your approach will be very structured and it will help you to reap the benefits in a quick point of time or quick nature of time, which can help you. But if you're going to be unstructured and you're going to use random prompts, that will lead to a lot of unstructured data, which will lead to your confusions. So all these type of prompts and the examples are like our mathematical tables basically. As soon as you find a use case in your daily curriculum or the research space, you should automatically interpret the use case towards it. Okay.
So
Any questions?
sorry to interrupt you, sir. I think screen is like got stuck. We can only find your message screen. That is,
Oh, is it?
yes, the window has been changed. I think you have to switch on the next window.
Let me stop presenting and do it again.
Yes, sir.
Very sorry. You could have stopped me. Passed through a lot. Is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
You're able to see the type of prompts?
No. Still, it's with the meeting. That is your Gmeet window.
Gmeet, is it? Because
Yes,
I've given the share window option. Something wrong. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yes.
So just for a quick review, like whatever I've spoken through, it is more about, like I told, about prompts and outputs, and how Copilot is going to be, and why is prompt engineering a need as on date, and what are the types of prompt is where we are dealing with now. So I've given some examples related to how to use these prompts and what are the use case when you are trying to use it. So in terms of asking a question and trying to be more specific, or trying to take a role-based approach in terms of coaching and taking some inputs from it. And there are some IT related use cases, but this might not be required. But in case if you are going to be more creative or trying to build an app or some applications for your research methodologies, you can make use of these code generation use cases. And you can do normal conversations and translations. And all these are like the basic constructs whenever you find something, or when you're trying to interact with intelligence medium, artificial intelligence medium. These are the basic constructs which should hit your mind before even typing in anything or speaking to the AI mechanism. Like, what am I trying to experience out of this intelligent mechanism, so that I don't waste any of my resource and time, and I get the required information out of it. So yes, we'll move on to like how to draw and write an effective prompt. So whenever we say prompt, it has four parts to it. One is the instruction, whatever we are going to list down, and the second thing is on the context. So instruction can be of any nature, and context will be the focus point, what I'm expecting from the intelligence system. And in order to help the context, I need to provide some input data. And if I have to structure my output, I can also structure it. So these are like algebra formulas if you have done in your schoolings, right? So the previous types of prompts are like tables. You know what and how it should be taken back to the system. And once the tables are prepared, this should be your formula set. Whenever you are writing a prompt, you should make sure you have clear instruction towards it, you have context within it, and to help that context, what is the input data and how I want my output to be organized. So yes, I'll open the forum for any one of you, like anyone of your research article, or anyone who has any research article. Can you ping it in chat, and we'll try to see how much time will it take to comprehend that article, and at the same time how Copilot can summarize the same article. Any volunteers?
Priya Mani, any one of you are here? Priya Mani? We have scholars. Hari, I'll just check if they are there. Loki, is anybody there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Please, yes. Please put your content in the chat box.
Or in case if you have anti, probably if you're searching for it, let me give a try from my end. So look at this article, probably give a minute to read this article. This is from a clinical place. So just give a, I don't want you to read everything, but just try to do a scanning and just try to comment how much time will it take to summarize this content, this article.
Probably 1.5 hours if you are very genuinely reading it and summarizing.
And that too, being in that background. Right now.
Correct.
So if I ask Copilot, giving the context, like summarize this content for me. Okay, in a paragraph or in 5 lines. So I'm trying to structurize the context here with respect to prompt. What is my context and what is my input data? And I'm saying the output should be in 5 lines. And if I want, I can even format it 5 lines with bullet. I'm just giving an example again. Let us see how Copilot responds. So zoom, there you go. So on your research space, if you have n number of research articles, which will take time, probably you can take the concise summary out of it by following the structured approach. And you can change these 3 parameters out of it. Like you can ask the Copilot to say, okay, you summarize it as a superintendent or an education expert or a research scholar. You can summarize it as in paragraphs, like whatever it could be. But the construct here is, always keep in mind, we have 3 parameters, that is what has to be done, what is the input data, and how the output is going to be. Can I get a guess if everyone has this warm up in their mind? Is in chat window or any of your research articles if you want to summarize it. Probably if you can do that, it would be very ideal. That is why I thought I will do an hands-on with you guys. Yep, thank you for that response. So the next step is like, okay, we have said we know the structure of how it has to be built across. We know what is the basic raw materials. We know how to order it. But now we'll have to be more effective in talking with these systems. I've just taken few examples to ensure we don't waste time here. Okay, so in this example, some random stuffs, if you are not going to be structured enough and if you're giving some random stuff, sometimes artificial intelligence fails to your request. Okay, so stating like person in glasses with 4K wallpapers, hands, riding bike without any structure, it really gets confused. It doesn't know what to search for you and what to bring out. Whereas on a flip side, if you try to go with that context or the structure order, giving the context, what is the input and how I want the output to be. With this approach, it tries to get as many as possible, and you can reiterate it many number of times. So the overall context here is, in order to be make it effective prompt, the first thumb rule is we'll have to be very clear. That is, we'll have to speak to it in a concise manner, not to give any random or unwanted topics towards it. The language should be very concise, direct, and not giving any ambiguous statements towards it. So these 3 are the key elements in order to be clear with our prompts. So we have seen the basic structures. We have seen how it has to be framed, and now we are getting into how to be more clear. And these are all sub-thumb rules of how to adopt a proper prompt into our mind. So basically, it is not about how we are going to change artificial intelligence. This is more about how we reorient our mind in order to interact with the artificial intelligence systems. Our brain should rewire or reframework to all these basic thumb rules so that we get calibrated and we don't waste unnecessary time or energy towards cleaning up the junk data whichever the AI system puts towards us. So this is the biggest thumb rule. We'll have to be very clear. We'll have to be very concise in terms of how we interact with that system. The second thing is we can be more specific, like what you want to do on the output factor, like outputs, how we have to configure the outputs, where either you want me to summarize it or classify it or order it. So this is a sub part of being clear. You make sure your style and structure is very neat, kept as per the understanding, and you define a particular set of words if possible, so that it need not go through multiple iteration, and it tries to give you the right set of articles for your approach. So this is second sub thumb rule towards being the output formatting of it. And in terms of context, this is another great example, like how you can interact with, in case if you're lonely in your research and you want to gather some information, you can make it to act as some scholar or someone who's trying to interrogate with you to find all your gaps in your research paper. Here I've taken an example from a doctor's perspective, a doctor who is trying to be very busy with his patient, and he's asking how to respond to a medical coordinator when he is being referenced. So he is giving all the structures, whatever he is trying to do. So he's asking the chat GPT or any AI mechanism for that case, like, I'm a busy doctor, how I can respond to when I'm being asked to give some information towards the drug development, or someone who is trying to reach him out, how he has to respond. So those are things like it can consume whatever input you're giving in terms of text, URL, and documents, whatever it could be. So without this background, say the background in terms of in which hospital he is working and what is the description of it, it can give some junk output towards it, which might not be very relevant and reliable. So we are setting the context for the AI to state, okay, you need not think out of the box or give something which is available throughout your intelligence. I want you to think only to the context. I'm a doctor here, and I would like to get engaged here, and this is my description. You generate a relevant article only for me. So the same, you can extend it to your research papers also. Okay, I'll do a stop check. Is my screen visible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sorry.
Thank you. So the next one is about in case if you're going to interact with the, probably you can see this keywords LLM being reused. LLMs are nothing but large language models, which is equivalent to AI. AI and LLMs are the same. Basically, whenever we say AI, it is about model. And when we say model always takes an input, it gives an output. Model carries the function which it is trying to aggregate. So when there are cases like you have some certain set of instructions flowing in, and if you want to classify it, you can try to make use of these models to teach them. Like basically you become the teacher for that artificial intelligence system. You give some examples to it and categorize it like, this is how you should interpret this sentence, and try to generate an Excel formula. You give an example, it tries to generate an Excel. So here the example is about, I'm trying to give few sentences towards the model, and I'm saying you can interpret this as a positive and this as a negative sentence. And when I try to feed in a generic sentence from my end with the same context, like how it can be interpreted, it gives me the response back to me. So it's basically works like an assistant towards you in cases whenever you need something to be classified and categorized, but you'll have to teach it and make use of it. So this is an very unique stuff, but this can be used for some complex task which you are getting in on a day-to-day basis. Say if you get 3-4 articles in your space, and if you want to understand more, you summarize it and post the summary. When you feel okay, this article is simple in nature and this is complex in nature, you can feed in back to the AI system and state, try to generate articles which are related to simple in nature, or you can paste an article and you can ask whether this article is going to be simple or complex, even to study the summary part of it. Hope I'm able to make the tie around with respect to your space, whichever is coming in. But I'm just giving some thoughts where how you can make use of these prompts more effective. it's completely open to your creativity. Day-to-day basis, there would be n number of AI tools coming in. You cannot list them down, or you cannot maintain a library out of it. It is going to be completely unrealistic. But the major factor is we'll have to try to reorient our brain of how to interact with them and what are the ways or use cases we can generate with them. So this probably in the future, this could be a separate medium of education and specialization. Okay. But to start off, at least we are in the nascent stages where we are just interacting with the models. So the orientation should be of how the use cases can be generated and what ways we can generate. I'm just trying to open those perspectives to you, but you can apply any combinations towards it. Okay. And overall, the magical part of these prompts are, in case if you are not happy with whatever is coming up, either you can rewrite your prompt to do that. But if you are certain, like I've done the best part of my prompt and I don't have anything to improvise on it, I've given all the structure, context, output, input parameters on the right way, then ask it to rewrite or recalibrate it multiple times, and you can even say it how many times you want to recalibrate, and you can validate it to the core until you get the required expected output. So that is how A is also going to improvise itself. And the good part is, like, we are born as humans, and till date everything whatever knowledge we have gathered, it lies within our brain. But now with this prompt method being in place, the way you are going to think, the way you are going to act, everything is going to be recorded through keyboards, through the artificial intelligence system. And all the information and knowledge whatever you possess, you are trying to give it back to the society through this mechanism. So the more number of responses being rewritten through your prompts, the more number of intelligence is being gathered on the system level. So this is where we should not be like on a normal scale, or we should not be writing prompts on a normal level, because we are trying to put the humanity to a normal cadence. So if every one of us can improve in terms of how to standardize this prompt structure and we are collectively improvising the AI system and written, and which leads to a good payback for the society or the generations to come. So this is not a process which is going to end within some years or a decade. This is something which we are stepping into the next phase of life in this human phase. So the whole feedback is to ensure the good prompts are being taken back by the artificial intelligence system, and it tries to calibrate even more better, and the best output of it we get calibrated again. So it is an win-win process for both of us. And the best part is you are not alone. All our brains are interlinked within this cloud computing artificial intelligence system. So all of us are interconnected. The more we are going to be calibrated, the more magic is tend to happen going forward. This is a caution statement on your prompts. Like, most of the AI tools doesn't save your work. So always make sure when you're structurizing and when you're, because it is a time consuming process, right? Because we'll have to do many iterations, many exercises when we are working with artificial intelligence system. So when you're closing it, everything gets wiped off, because there's so much of prompts which are getting interacted with the systems on a day-to-day basis. So these system doesn't take account of your work to save, but indeed some try to make some save of your work, but normally most of the leading AI system doesn't save your work. So make sure if you have hit a right prompt, if you have generated something very good which can give you more mileage in your research process and articles, save them and keep it handy, because that will be your time saving efforts. So I'll stop here till here. Any questions for anyone? Okay, my voice is breaking. Am I audible now? Am I clear?
Yes, sir, you're clear, sir.
Okay. Any questions? Hope Friday no one is sleeping around. Okay. So evaluating the prompt outputs. So now moving on to the next phase. Okay, we have got the required outputs, but how to evaluate them? Uh, is it in terms of uh, basically how to refine them more with certain controls? Like uh, that is the output controlling part of it. But on top, on addition to it, we can even refine the output, which can be fed in back, and we try to give a massaging to the output whatever we have got. In terms of a few examples could be like you can restrict the length, because the system has to give you a crux information. So if you're going to say I need something with 3 paragraph, 4 paragraph, again you might get into some unwanted data sets. So by stating the length, tone, and to which audience am I trying to attend this, and how the format should look like, all these are trying to tailor the output in order to evaluate I'm getting the right set of information back into the system. So with this in thought process in mind, how it goes across, like how we can tailor it, or how we can move the prompts to the next levels. Like today you might be in stage 1, 2, or 3, 4, whatever you can evaluate, but it is best, the better or more efficient it would be if you can move towards the 4th stage, where you give all the required information and trying to state to who is the target audience towards it, and how I will have to calibrate this. Just pausing here. Again, if you have any questions, I can address. Okay, we'll move on. So the next part is on there are two kinds of output which I want to discuss here. One was on the text format, another on the image, and the AI systems are moving to the next level in terms of taking creative videos and animated videos, but those are still in nascent stages. Whatever we have achieved to the standards which we can operate for our research or into our daily usages are in terms of text and image generations, whatever you've got, and in terms of few Microsoft Office tools where Excel and PowerPoints are being activated to the standard levels. But other modes of output in terms of movies or creative 3D movies, all those are still in nascent stages, which is still building up. Probably in a year or two, we'll reach to those stages as well. Here, going back to the image generation aspect, what all stuffs we'll have to take care before we attempt to talk to the intelligence system is about what are the objects which I need to have in the image. So I should know all the pixels, each pixel set, what object, that object's position, and how it should be resonating, and what should be the color scheme of it, and if possible, trying to indicate who will be the target audience who is trying to see this image, and the medium of it, like how you want to present it, whether it is going to be a painting, pencil sketch, or vintage, something of like, again, it is all open to your creativity, but this structure set, this lies as a formula behind every image generation. If we can stick to this formula pattern, then you'll get the right set of image with more clarity and details, and even you can tailor your output as you saw in the previous slide. You can indicate the quality of the image and how it has to be incorporated, or you can incorporate it into any of the PPTs, and all those information you can feed it back. But the construct here is you should be very clear whenever you are dealing with an image generation. You should always see what is the image about, what are the objects which are linked to that image, and what will be the color scheme, and to which audience, and what is the medium of image which has to be generated. So on an 360-degree space, as I was repeating and reiterating multiple times, the human designs the prompt, it goes to the LLM model or the AI tool, and we'll have to evaluate the output. In case if we feel AI is not doing the right stuff, we'll have to redesign our prompt and feed it back to the AI tool. So the overall crux about prompt engineering is about this slide. So you try to make use of a statement, make the AI tool understand about it. In case if you're not getting the right output which you're trying to evaluate, you once again redesign it. So the last part of today's session is about how we can recognize bias and limitation and how to avoid it in most of the cases. The first thing is whatever AI tools we are going to encounter in our market or in our daily spaces, they are all like based on a certain set of data by the developer who has created it. So obviously, when the LLMs are created by humans, there would be an inherent biases towards it, and that will have a clear impact to your article output. So you should be very clear to read that article before even publishing or trying to portray it to anyone. So make sure the human intelligence part, that is the evaluation key, is always applied to whatever data output we are getting it from the prompt to ensure we don't go in a biased manner, because the model was developed by a human who can be biased. So that is unavoidable. And if again, this goes to the overall process of the human system, how we are going to evolve. If we are not going to be so careful in terms of clearing these biases, then the AI model or the LLM is going to be impacted, and it will have its impact throughout the whole community and society. So it is not individual's responsibility, it is a collective social responsibility which we'll have to carry in terms of handling these tools, and how we are going to evaluate them and reteach them. Even if it gives you a negative or biased information, we'll have to reteach them, ensure we are not letting it down by undergoing the same bias repeatedly without evaluating it. So some examples here, like you can prompt the AI tools to validate, like hope you are trained better and you are not seeing any biases, and what is the quality of data which you have gone through, can you represent the data sets, can you give the source of truth for all the information which you are stating. So all these are output structured prompts where you can incorporate into your prompts to ensure you are not getting into a biased mode. So few short prompts can be incorporated. It is in continuation to it, like how you can order these examples so that you don't get impact out of the output. Just for your reference in terms to see how it doesn't used in examples. The other part is these biases collectively leads to hallucination. This effect is more about when we are trying to use the prompts in an haphazard way, like without structuring it or without any context towards it. We are trying to make the artificial intelligence tool to be very random, and it is not going to be realistic in any sense. And over the time, the same pattern, whatever it is trying to go over, it feels okay. Humans are of this nature because the prompts were developed from humans. So it tries to give an unrealistic picture always, even when a truth is being asked from it. So it is always ideal to give a space for the models to say, okay, if you are not able to get me a standard information or the correct information, or if you are not able to get the source of truth for the information, whatever you are trying to interpret and convey to me, you have the option to say, I don't know. So this can be incorporated into your output mechanism. You just directly say, I don't know to a question so that I can go to other sources. You don't try to give some unrealistic information which goes back to the tool as an intelligence, and it tries to reproduce the same. So during your prompts, if you're trying to deal with a complex article and if you want some source of truth, don't enforce the AI tool to provide the source of truth. In those places, you can give some space for it to say, okay, I don't know this information, I cannot find the source for this. You can really represent it, and I'm okay to take it back. So these are part of evaluating the output, but this is a key part where we give some space to the intelligence mechanisms also. It gives the realistic information towards us. So overall, in summary, it is more about always keep the key or the basic construct within you. You should understand what are the elements. That is the very fundamentals. And where we should make sure we have all the information through those elements, simple, clear, and specific to the AI tool. We don't confuse the tool with some unambiguous statements or keywords, and we ensure we are trying to be to the point, concise towards it. And the output which we are seeking, always try to experiment with it and try to control it with realistic source of information. Don't make it to be more creative or more balanced in approach. Try to make it more sensible by giving the source of information and citing what are the resources allocated to it or abiding to it. Try to get those controlled outputs from it, so that we evaluate it in the right sense. And if you are not finding it appropriate, you can give it back to the AI tool. You can go for the next iteration, and again the process repeats. So the overall constructors, when you're handling with prompt, always have these 5 points in your mind. So this is going to be the key. There can be n number of tools coming up in the market on a daily basis. Irrespective of it, if these 5 things are in your mind, you are always talking with the AI tool in the precise manner, and you get the accurate information whatever you are looking for. So I'll stop there. Any questions?
Participants, any questions?
You can see, okay. How many prompts can be given for a scheduled task? So it really depends upon how you want to take the output, right? Like until you go with the iteration process and you reach the specific output, you can go with n number of prompts. It need not be only 1 or 2, but make sure we follow the structure as we indicated. A big silence. Guys, am I boring you?
No, not at all, sir.
No, that is what videos are still not part of it. Just by a year or 2, we can see all these 3D videos, animated videos, everything will be incorporated. So it's going to be how creative you're going to be in terms of using this prompt language. Copilot test. Sorry.
Excuse me,
Yes,
I have a
Raja.
question. So,
Yes, Raja.
in case, can we upload a video and ask this AI, Copilot, to get some inference out of the video?
Exactly. You can give the URL. You can give the URL, ask it to summarize, it will summarize. And you can even construct the output, either 2 lines or 2 paragraphs, whatever you want to.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And I don't want to indicate the tools which are available, but there are tools which are available as Chrome extensions, which gets along with your YouTube videos.
Okay.
In your YouTube, probably you can give a try, because I don't know if this is official forum to share all those stuffs. So with those extensions in YouTube, if you pass a set of videos, like there would be playlist videos, right? Like say Nelson Mandela has given a series of conversations about interviews or something. If there is a playlist around it, if you can pass that URL into those extensions, it gives you a summarized view within a paragraph. So you need not watch all those videos, which can carry for about 9 to 10 hours. It gives you a summary of 5 lines instantly.
Okay. Thank you.
Copilot. Yeah, thank you, Raja. Copilot currently is a free version, but it restricts you. That is where I told most of the AI tools cannot function without humans. Okay, so any AI tool coming into the market, for sure they will give you a free version for a limited set of entities. Say you can attempt 5 prompts or 3,000 words, 5,000 words, because your brain is going to be the feed for them. Without you they cannot improve their intelligence. But they don't want to give it as a free for everything, because the more free it is going to be, more junk it can also become. So they're very restrictive, but they've kept some placeholders in order to restrict some junk prompts in their systems as well. But currently it allows you with 10 prompts in a day, I believe. So you can give a try up till 10 prompts.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yes.
Sir, can you show us some demo prompt? Like, how can we go about a demo prompt? And one more thing, can you tell us more on this Midjourney AI app? Like, how do you create the images in that?
No, Copilot has now been increased to, like, it is integrated with Dolly. Probably yes. Can any one of you give me some context to be creative? Like,
Can I share a PDF to Lokeshwari ma'am?
yeah, sure.
Just 1 minute.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
I'll just share it in WhatsApp, ma'am. 1 second.
Okay, ma'am.
So, what we can give for an image? Okay, let me say, generate an image. We'll have to give the context. Anything related to research articles which you want to give try. Anyone wants to give a try? Just be creative. Come on, guys, don't be shy. Nothing is gonna change here until we start speaking.
I have a PDF. Can I share it to you or?
Do you have the URL of that PDF?
Can I WhatsApp it, Hari?
Yes, ma'am. Can you give a try? I'll love to see. Have you WhatsApped it to me?
Yes, Hari. I WhatsApp the text. Jeevita, am I right? I've shared the.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I was in a creative band, so it came up something of that nature. Let me access my PDF. Just give me some time. So, can we use the charge diagram directly in our research? Is there any copyright issues? No, absolutely not. But you'll have to evaluate whether that is going to be biased or not. You can absolutely make use of it, but try to give the source as Copilot so that it is given the credits, whatever it is. Okay, you have given the PDF here. So, ma'am, what is the information you're looking from this PDF? Like that? Okay.
No, sir. You said we can get a summarize of it, no? So, is it from the PDF? Can we get summarize?
No, it shows the wrong URL. No, from PDF we can do that. 1 minute. If I'm able to upload it. PDF content can be copied and pasted here. Just give me a moment. My WhatsApp is not linked to the system. I'm just trying to link it.
Okay, sir.
But you can copy the context of the PDF and put it
The
here.
entire PDF content can be copied?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably if you have your laptop open, give a try. Just open your PDF, do a Control A, and give the prompt here as generate summary with 3 lines or 4 lines of this following content.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, I didn't get that PDF yet. Just giving a try. Or let me assume this as your PDF for now. Okay. So that is how it could work across.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Got it, sir.
Were you able to do that in your system? Just give me a moment. I think I got it now. Copied everything, right? Okay. Is this your article, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, this one.
So you can now evaluate it, like how best it has done for you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions here? Another article. So yes, probably I can see many people now they've joined. Any questions? Like, was this like really helpful? I know this was a very dry session. I thought of doing hands-on, but within 1 hour we can't do much hands-on with so much use cases in place. So I tried to consolidate whatever tools we have and how to use those tools. But in case if you have any questions, yes, you can obviously reach out to me. We can help you out. But the next decade is going to be how calibrated we are going to be with these structures and prompting methods. You have a number of courses in Udemy, Coursera, or LinkedIn Learning. All these are paid. Additionally, Google offers you a lot of free courses. All these courses tries to give this just for you, and in turn you can use AI to get all these summary statements. Once again, the fact is, try to move from that stage 1 to stage 4. Try to be more precise, clear, concise, so that you get the required output with minimal efforts, which can calibrate your efficiency. So with that, I'll stop there. Probably any questions, I can take it up.
Any questions? Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
You are on. Yeah.
Yes, over to Aarti.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your insights and enriching our learning experience. Your expertise and knowledge have been invaluable to our program. I now request our beloved Director Ma'am to share a few words on the 5 days national level Advanced Faculty Development Program.
Thank you, Aarti. Thank you, Hari. It was a great pleasure. So when we started this FDP program annually, we have this planner for doing an FDP. So it was very interesting that we started ideating about. So I think this is the 4th FDP program where we concentrated a lot on research methodology, how to use SPSS. Then we moved on to Power BI, and then we went into R programming, R Studio, and all these things. This time it was meticulous that our team, where Lokeshwari had a very important role. We wanted to do something related to this AI-powered academia and innovation. So we know that Industry 5.0 is the upcoming thing. Similarly, in academics also, we have the indulgence of from the beginning we had internet, and then slowly we moved on to multiple stages, and now we call it the digital era. So in the digital era, this AI was the apt topic, and we beautifully coined this revolutionizing academia, AI powered discovery and innovation. And we thought that faculty members should know how to make use of the AI tools so that it becomes very convenient for us. And one of my students in this current batch came to me and he said, hereafter doing assignments and giving internals for the assignment topics, I think, ma'am, it is very less relevant. And I appreciated that boy's notion, because we all know that today content creation is not at all difficult, and we can see that it is supporting even research. So if the students are highly innovative, and we thought that the faculty members also should be 100% aware of all these AI tools, so that we can make use of it for the betterment of our content and our usage, and to grow up with the tech students whom we are teaching. And all the 5 days we had very great resource persons, and today I'm especially very happy because Hari was my student, and it is always very nice to hear from the student. Thank you, Hari, and I would like to thank Dr. Vimal Nathan, again Ms. Priyanka, again we had Dr. Dinesh from Brainswick. So all of them had done justice for the topic, and I would also like to appreciate and thank all the 90 participants who have registered all over the country, and I would call it as in pan-India national levels. FDP was aptly coined, and I would like to thank all the participants and all the colleges and universities who have supported them to be a part of the 5-day national seminar. And I would also thank the online version of doing this academic connect. So I thank all of you. Apart from that, I would like to thank our
faculty team members who had a very big opportunity. And they were all very supportive in organizing this 5-day national seminar. I'd like to thank all the first and second year
students who were hosting it in spite of their hectic day as interns in companies. Both the first and second years are interning currently, Hari. In spite of it, they took all the efforts in coming here, hosting the event. And I would like to thank Shakti, who is hosting it in the YouTube. And all my thanks to our principal and secretary, sir, who has always been a great support for all the departments in the college and their interest in building up the academic development program. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. As we conclude the final day of our program, I'm honored to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you. Throughout this transformative journey, we have witnessed the remarkable power of artificial intelligence to reshape academia and drive innovation. I'd like to express my deepest appreciation to our esteemed speakers for sharing their expertise and insights. I extend my sincere thanks to our Secretary, Sri Ashok Kumar Mundraji, our Principal, Dr. S. Santosh Babu sir, and our Director, Dr. U. Amaleshwari ma'am, and all the respected faculty members of School of Management for their unwavering support and guidance throughout this program. To all the dedicated scholars and participants, I commend you for your active engagement and enthusiasm. Last but not least, I'd like to express my gratitude to the organizing committee for their tireless efforts in planning and executing this event flawlessly. As we bid farewell to this memorable journey, let us carry forward the spirit of innovation and collaboration instilled in us during these past 5 days. And also, the link for the feedback and attendance for today's session is shared in the chat box. I kindly urge everyone to take a few moments to complete them. Please note that submitting feedback and attendance is mandatory for issuing these certificates. Thank you once again to everyone who has contributed to making this program a remarkable experience. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you, Raja. Thank you for your wonderful comments, and other members, thank you for your love. We all would like to continue keeping in touch with you. I would also like to share that our department is hosting an 2-day international conference. In the group, we will be shortly posting you the brochures, and please try to be a part of that also. So that is going to be an offline in-campus program. We are going to organize it in association with Multimedia University Malaysia. And there is also journal publication available for the event. You can have options from Web of Science and UGC indexed, UGC care list, and also a peer-reviewed journal for that. So please make use of the opportunity. And we would like to host you in person. So I'm inviting all the participants of the FDP to please come and be a part of the international conference. And we would like to interact with you. And we are very ready to host you academically anything. And the certificate part, Ms. Lokeshwari and her team will be taking care. And you will receive it as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, team.
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you, Lokeshwari. Wonderful job.
Thank you.
Thank you all then. Bye.
Thank you, Hari. Thank you, Hari. My best wishes and regards to you.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you. Bye-bye.